If you are watching this, then there's a very good chance that you're gonna get completely washed out by the altcoin market this year. This video should be the most complete altcoin season topic video on YouTube. I know it sounds like a lot, but I will put everything in this video right here to figure out how likely is it that we are going to get an alt season. Unbiased. I know that there are a lot of people, they stay to the fact that there won't be an alt season, and there are a lot of people that say, no, it will be an alt season. Let's just look at the data, okay? Let's look at the data, guys, and let's not be ignorant for the rest out there. So welcome to the Fomo Factory. Like the video if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on, and let's get into it. Now, there are a couple of things I want to look at when it comes to alt season. 1, the charts. 2, the sentiment in the market right now. 3, the seasonality. 4, the macro. 5, the ETFs, and 6, inflation, okay? When it comes to more altcoins hitting the market. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, in my opinion, there are gonna get a lot of people wrecked. And that's what happens in every market. There are a couple people winning big, and therefore a lot of people have to lose. I see a lot of losing sentiment at the moment. I see a lot of people fall for the exact same thing that I fell for earlier in my crypto journey as well, especially in 2017. Now, what I noticed, and this is on my channel, right? And on this channel, what's interesting is that we so far in this market navigated it very, very well. I am so proud on how we did this. And the community on this channel is like, the average IQ is a little higher than the banter public, sorry. But I think a lot of people watching this channel, they know their stuff, right? And if you're new to the channel, therefore subscribe. We really try to learn. I'm not trying to give you the 10 best altcoins out there. If you don't know shit about the market, then you don't know why you're holding these altcoins and what you should do with it in the first place, right? 2 years ago, everybody was bullish, okay? Everybody in the market was bullish on altcoins. This is altcoins on their Bitcoin pair, right? Up is alt season, down is not alt season. That's what it is. 2 years ago or 1 year ago, whatever, doesn't matter. Here, everybody was bullish. Now we are at the low. Now everybody's bearish. It sounds like the other way around to me. Okay. Already, if you catch yourself on being bearish on the altcoin market right now, just realize that. That should be enough for you to realize like, oh shit, I'm doing it the other way around. And you can like, believe me, I've been there. Believe me, I try to help you. It's not that I'm trying to pump my AVAX bags with billions of dollars of market caps with the 2,000 views that I get. Believe me, that's not what I'm doing it for, okay? I try to be one of the few YouTubers out there that's not talking complete bullshit, because YouTubers have wrecked me in the past as well. And although it was my fault, I know you are going to fall for the exact same thing. So what's the sentiment right now? Well, you see it right here. 2 years ago, at the top, everybody was bullish. Now, at the bottom, where you're supposed to take the opportunity, this is from the last 2 days on my channel. Blood season, no alt season, rip crypto. There will not be an alt season. 2025 will be the big bear market for altcoins. When I'm started to short the crap, I finally started to make money. Alts are going to zero. I've sold everything and now I'm sleeping peacefully at the bottom. It's over with that. It's over for altcoins. Who went through the cycle, they will not touch them in the next cycle. Dominance going to 100%, right? It's more a matter of your timing, in my opinion. Alts suck. It's time to realize that money can only be made by shorting it. Maybe in the middle of March, alt season starts, if there will be any at all. Most altcoins have topped. Powell will cancel alt season. If it wasn't for Trump, it was already ended in December. Again, this is from the last 2 days. The sentiment is bearish. And that's the beginner mistake that a lot of people make in crypto, and that got me wrecked. And you can try to outsmart the market and be like, no, but this time it's gonna happen. Guys, believe me if I say being bearish at the bottom is not the way to make money. Okay, it is simply not. So let's get into 6 things that show us like, hey, what's actually being told right here. right? What's actually being told. Now, the first thing that stands out to me a lot lately, not to blame anybody right here. I get the, like, oh, my bags are down, so I'm bearish. I get the emotions. Again, that's not on you. But try to set your emotions aside, because emotions and money doesn't work, right? That doesn't work. But what do all these comments have in common? They never give a reason, right? They never give a reason why they think that alt season is not going to happen. And that says something as well. So let's start in this case with sentiment. That says something about the sentiment. People, they don't look at charts. They don't look at the macro. They don't look at the data. They don't look at the historical seasonality of crypto. They only look at their portfolio. It's down, so it is not going to happen because we feel bad, right? But I want to really dive into the facts right here, because I think that that's way more helpful than your emotions, right? Your emotions are going to wreck you. Like, I think most of us are guys right here. Stop being a woman. That's not going to be helpful right here. Sorry, it's not going to help. So what they all have in common is they never give a reason why alt season is canceled. So if you start to doubt that alt season is not going to happen because you see it all around you, start to ask around, like, but why? And you will notice that there are not really reasons. In this video, I want to give the reasons for why I think it is going to happen. And if I will ever, stumble upon a reason why it might not happen, I will definitely say so, right? I'm not trying to be biased towards the fact, like, hey, I want an alt season, so it's gonna happen. I see that it's going to happen. Therefore, I position myself into altcoins, and therefore I want it. Okay? So let's start with the stupid, but let's start with the second. Sentiment is down right now. Sentiment is bad. It's bad on my YouTube channel. Even on my YouTube channel, right? Again, where we have a pretty clever community, actually. On our Telegram, on a lot of other YouTube channels, the sentiment is down. If you look in any Telegram Discord group, the sentiment is bad. The sentiment is completely bad. Now, let me tell you one thing. The market never tops on bad sentiment. It's that simple, okay? If you think it will be that easy that you see bad sentiment all around you, so that's the sign that you should sell, again, that's not the sign where you should. The time where you need to sell is the time where you don't feel like you want to sell, okay? That's that's how markets work. That's the psychology of the market. Here we went down, 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 down. We touched this trend line, right? The sentiment here was worse in end of 2020, was worse than here, right? One reason is alts got wrecked harder here. And the other reason is we had less data points to look back at, right? So there was less certainty that there was going to be another alt season. Now it's more cyclical than last cycle. So in the last cycle, sentiment was terrible. Yeah, that was not the place to sell your altcoins or to shift to being bearish. That was the place to say to yourself, like, okay, it's bad right now. The sentiment is bad. Time to be bullish, right? Trade it the other way around, okay? That's one. Sentiment is absolutely freaking horrible, especially if you compare with the fact that Bitcoin is sitting at $102,000. Bitcoin is over 100K. The president released a meme coin. We have ETFs. We have a potential crypto strategic reserve, a crypto stack. The news is better than what it has ever been. And you cannot get this type of insane good news. And the sentiment fucking sucks. Because a lot of people, they went into altcoins too early. They didn't understand that for the most part of the cycle, you have to be in Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin outperforms crypto 75% of the time. We talked about this 2 years ago, right? Bitcoin outperforms most of the time. But people don't care. They be like, fuck Bitcoin, let me be in altcoins. This altcoin will outperform, this altcoin will outperform. Meme coins all over the place, look at this. And now altcoins did what they always done. They're down. And now people feel like, I'm down. It's only down. No alt season, right? It's mostly because of your timing. Let's be honest, the timing that a lot of people got into the altcoin market was way too early, right? And now they are frustrated, and that frustration in the current sense, that's very understandable. But now what you'll see is that these people, they don't look at themselves. Well, some might, right? But the people that constantly say like, fuck alt season, not gonna happen. These are more the people that they don't really look at themselves. They don't really look like, okay, what did I do wrong? Why are other people making money in this market? And why am I in the same market not making money, right? They don't do that. They blame the market. They say like, oh, the altcoin market sucks. It's worse than ever. Like, the sentiment is bad. And that's mainly because a lot of people, they just fucked up. You fucked up. If you are one of these people, then you fucked up, not the market. Second, charts. Okay, so first, sentiment at the bottom. Sentiment never tops at the bottom, or the market never tops at the... Jesus, what the hell? The market never tops when the sentiment is low. So the sentiment is saying alt season is coming. We got that, right? That's a big check right here. Sentiment. Okay, we make that, let's say, green. Sentiment is saying alt season. Okay, then we have charts. What are the charts actually saying? The charts are saying this, in my opinion. First, what is alt season? A lot of people, they look at their favorite shitcoin and it's down and they say like, oh, there's not going to be an alt season. Now, let's be honest, you bought the wrong coin, right? And at the wrong time. What is an alt season? Alt season is where altcoins collectively, not all of them, right? Collectively, overall, outperform Bitcoin. This is others, top 125, excluding the top 10. This is the best average collective that you can get on TradingView. This has been going down against Bitcoin. Okay, it's now sitting at a critical support zone right here, at this trend line right here, where it always bounced before we went into alt season. Right? And we'll talk about the seasonality as well later. So this looking like, hey, you know, here be bearish, right? Here be bullish. Then we have, for example, the others dominance. So how much is the altcoin market, right? Top 125, excluding the top 10. How much is it dominating this crypto market? If that goes up, then it's alt season. If it goes down, then it's not alt season. Also, we are in a clear parallel channel, if you ask me, for 10 years, right? And in the post-halving year, we get to the top of it, right? And then we go down of it. Top of it, down, right? We are, again, now down. Chart looking good, right? You can say like, no, we're going to do this, right? But that's for no reason. I don't see the reason there, right? You could have said that here, 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 here. Yeah, you would have been wrong all the time. What makes you right now? Right? So if you look at this chart, then there are a couple things that you can do. You can either say like, hey, opportunity, or you can not take the opportunity and then just don't have any profit or gains when it does this. Simple. So there are a couple scenarios, right? We're down here and you're bearish, or we are up here and you are bullish, right? Like, so what do you want? Do you want the opportunity, or do you want to already be there for you to finally have your confirmation when it's actually too late? That's another chart. And there are a lot more charts pointing out the same thing. For example, we have the Bitcoin dominance. The Bitcoin dominance is not my favorite chart, actually, because this just shows how much the how much Bitcoin is dominating compared to the rest of the crypto market, but that's also against stables, right? So in theory, this chart can go down really hard. And people say, oh, alt season, but if everybody converts for some reason their Bitcoin into USDT, then this also goes down. And we don't necessarily have an alt season. Therefore, we have another chart. But one thing that I think is pretty interesting, if you look at the last cycle where we got rejected and went into an alt season, that was the 0.618. And if you look at this cycle right now, where we got rejected right now, that's the 0.618, right? And we wicked above it, but we never closed above it. So also pretty interesting to me. And it's not just that, it goes a little hand in hand with the seasonality that I'm going to talk about later as well. But we finally here got the rejection around December 2020, right? December halving year. Here we got it in November halving year, right? So it's a lot of things. It's a lot of coincidence, if you ask me. Now, we also have the Bitcoin dominance without stable coins. And the Bitcoin dominance without stable coins, in my opinion, is a little more accurate when it comes to real alt season, right? And the Bitcoin dominance without stable coins, it at least showed a lot of weakness right here. It's in a major rising wedge, which are very bearish patterns eventually. We broke down, and once we did break down, we fell quite hard already. Now, that's the first retest. We don't have to break that and go down straight away, right? Of course, we bounce. Now are kind of retesting that wedge. And we'll see how we close it, right? It's, for me, if we go a little in it again, it doesn't matter. It's showing the weakness already. Plus, we are getting into this real range where we have the resistance right now. And another chart that's super cool that I just saw, and I kind of stole it from Boom, if that's his correct Twitter account, is others. So the altcoin market against NVIDIA. And if you look at this is really interesting. Now, you can pair anything against anything, right? But this is showing that NVIDIA is also, it's a stock, right? But it's more of a risky stock. It's not a complete collection like the S&P, for example. And this kind of confirms the money flow, right? It kind of confirms the money flow that we always have, from Bitcoin to high caps to lower caps and then full alt season. Well, this also kind of shows like, hey, we had the S&P running really hard. We had NVIDIA running really hard as well. And now we have altcoins on their NVIDIA pair catching up right here, right? And that's interesting because people, they move from something risky in the stock market to something risky in the crypto market, aka a ladder down on, or a ladder up on the risk curve, basically, right? We did the same thing over here, end of the halving year, beginning post-halving year, right? We also had that breakout. And we had the major breakout right here, also beginning halving year, post-halving year. So there are many charts, to me, showing that alt season is, if you want to get into altcoins to prepare for alt season, especially with your Bitcoin, now is the best time basically ever. And all the charts are showing the same thing, right? And the Bitcoin dominance showing the exact reverse of that. Another thing that this is not confirmed yet, but what's really helpful, but this more fits into the macro, is the DXY, the strength of the dollar. If the dollar goes down, then that's good for risk assets. And the dollar now really sits at a level where we have a lot of history. Like, this goes back to 1973. I wasn't even born back then, right? It goes back there. This is the monthly chart. We got so much resistance on support on this level right here. And it happens to be that we finally got a real, bearish candle exactly at that point. So again, there are a lot of charts showing, screaming alt season. So we can check this off very easily, that charts are saying alt season as well. Then we have the seasonality. Okay. Now, you can say whatever you want for whatever reason you have or might not have to say that it's not going to be an alt season. Don't underestimate the power of cycles, okay? And that goes further than crypto. That's coming from the macro as well. The business cycles, the global money flow, it's all linked with each other. Okay, so if you feel like, oh yeah, there's a 4-year cycle because we have the halving every 4 years, I think Satoshi thought a little deeper about that. Like, hey, we have a presidential election every 4 years, we have the global money flow, we have this, we have that. Let's pair Bitcoin and therefore altcoins as close to that as possible. Now, the 4-year cycle is in every single way screaming alt season in 2025. Again, if it just was one of these things that said alt season, then there's a good reason to go against it. But also the seasonality, which is one of the strongest factors in this case, is saying it. So if you are now, in my opinion, if you are saying like there won't be an alt season, I don't know what reason you might have, but you are going against everything that makes sense. Okay. Don't. So again, going back to the Bitcoin dominance, for example, if we overlay the Bitcoin halving, this is the monthly chart, right? From the Bitcoin halving here in 2017, it took 7 months and we got alt season. Here from the Bitcoin halving, it took 7 months for the dominance went down, right? And we got into alt season. We are not far from those 7 months. We are now in month number 8, right? And you cannot be like, well, it's already a month longer. So look, guys, a 4-year cycle doesn't mean the same stuff has to happen in the same minute, at the same day, at the same month, right? 4 years, 48 months. If there's a 2-3 months difference, that's close enough for me to call it cyclical. So the Bitcoin dominance shows seasonality. Now, if we go back to the others Bitcoin chart, right? The chart that's in my opinion this is the chart for me basically, right? This is showing seasonality as fuck, right? This is showing a lot of seasonality. Why? Well, again, like I showed before, Bitcoin is showing that we are a lot like 2017, right? We cannot ignore that. If you say that Bitcoin is not like 2017, then you I don't know, I want to smoke that as well. Orange is 2017, purple is where we are right now. This is insane, right? This is insane how it has perfectly been tracking 2017 for 800 days, okay? So it is very safe to say that this cycle so far is repeating 2017, not even close, but perfectly so far. And that will decorrelate one day, right? It will never be the same forever. Otherwise, Bitcoin will do 111x this cycle. I doubt it. But so far, really close. Now, if we look at the last 2 cycles, when did alt season start? Oh, here it started January halving year. Here it started March, January post-halving year. Here it started March post-halving year. We're now in January halving year. Jesus, post-halving year, right? So if it would have started this month, then it would mean that we do exactly what 2021 did. However, if we will not start this month and also don't start it next month, but maybe in March, right? Because maybe Powell comes out today saying like, hey, QT continues, right? And then a lot of people will probably say, oh, you see, no alt season. That's only a bigger chance in that case that it will do what 2017 did. Because alt season there started in March, right? So if it starts in March, a lot of people will say like, oh, it's so late, it's so different. It will be the same. And like we just saw, so far the cycle looks more than like 2017 than 2021. So there's a good chance that that will happen. But again, beginning post-halving year, we were here at this exact trend line. Beginning post-halving year, we were here at this trend line. Beginning post-halving year, we are here at that trend line, right? We can maybe say, it kind of depends that alt season already started in November because we bounced off that trend line. or we're going back down, right? In hindsight, if this chart does this, right? When has alt season officially started in hindsight? Was that here or here? For me, it's a trend line, right? So it could be that it already started. I don't think so, but nobody knows because it's too soon to say. We don't know what this chart is going to do yet. But the charts are not saying that there won't be an alt season. Also, if you look at the altcoin dominance once again, then this is really bullish. If you look at this on a quarterly chart, right? Because I think a lot of people now also make the mistake by investing today and expecting returns tomorrow. Sorry, doesn't work like that, right? Go to pump fund. Good luck. If we look at the 3-month chart, when was the full alt season quarter in the last cycles? Well, this obviously, right? Q1 2021 and this one, Q1 2017. There's a very good chance that it's going to be Q1 2025. That January is going to be red. Doesn't matter. We had a wick here as well, right? This could be our January. So again, seasonality is saying alt season. Every single chart that I see, every one of them. So we can check off this as well, right? So where we are, chart saying alt season. The sentiment is screaming alt season. The seasonality is saying alt season. Then we have the macro, right? Macro is not unimportant, okay? What do we need in order to get an alt season? And I say need because we don't know if we need it because we do not have too much history on it. Well, we do know that if you look at the Fed balance sheet, right, we never, if we overlay alt season, right, we never got an alt season during QT, right? So when this chart was going down, quantitative tightening, we don't see an alt season, right? Chart was going down, we never see an alt season. We saw an alt season last cycle during QE, and a cycle before that when they just, when there was no QT, no QE, just like flat. That's enough, right? So what we need is the Fed, or what will be helpful, is the Fed to stop QT, okay? Now, by the time you watch this video, we may already know it because today, the 29th of January, we get a decision on the FOMC meeting. I don't expect them to stop QT this month, right? The next meeting is in March. Could be that that's the month. We have Trump coming into the office right now, right? Or it's already there. I don't know where he is right now, but probably in its office. But Trump is very clear about this. He wants to make sure that this is going up, right? He wants to weaken the dollar. So far, Trump is saying what he does, and he's doing what he's saying. So I don't see a lot of reason to doubt him at this moment when it comes to this. Now, also, what's not unimportant, if we again look at the alt season chart right here, and we look at the net liquidity, which is kind of paired to that whole QE/QT story, basically, you can see that the net liquidity is currently going down, right? And as soon as that's going down, there's no alt season. As soon as it's going up, there's alt season. Alt season and net liquidity are like paired, like completely paired to each other. One thing, net liquidity won't go down forever, right? If that happens, they will eventually print money because they cannot run out of money. This is guaranteed, like I said in yesterday's video as well, this is guaranteed to eventually go up. If this is paired, then this is guaranteed to go up eventually, right? Then it's not, then the whole, like there won't be an alt season is actually based on this completely off of the table already. Then it's more the question when it's going to be alt season, right? And then you want to hope that alt season is going to happen during the fact that Bitcoin is still somewhere above 50K, right? Because that will still be very beneficial for your altcoins. Well, based on the Bitcoin seasonality, we have a full 2025 bull market to go. So I'm not so worried about that as well. So very short that about the macro. The macro is not even saying it will be alt season. It's pretty much guaranteeing it. Now, there are two reasons why. Well, I want to add another one to this. And let's call this 7 right here. Let's keep it nicely unorganized, right? Psychology, or however the fuck you spell that in Dutch. Psychology. Psychology is very simple. People, what apart from everything we just discussed and what could trigger an alt season, what else could trigger an alt season, right? Psychology of people. They move down the risk curve, okay? They are in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin makes them a lot of money. We can deny Bitcoin is in a fat, like vertical bull market, basically, right? And every time it drops with 5%, I know everybody gets scared and you think that alt season is canceled, but cannot really complain about this chart, right? It's very simple. People that have bought Bitcoin, they now look at their bags, or when Bitcoin is maybe a little higher, and be like, I don't know how much money there is more to make right here. Let's move it into something else. And that's causing the money flow. So psychology/money flow, right? The money flow is also something that's undeniable, because we have already seen coins like XRP pump. Believe me, if XRP pumps, then there will be an alt season. That shit doesn't pump out of nowhere, right? That takes fucking 7 years to do something. That should be a sign. So that should be a whole different category right here. Number 8, XRP pumping, right? But you can see people moving money already from Bitcoin into the high caps. What comes after that? Low caps, right? So the psychology, that won't go away. The money flow is active and it is happening in front of us, right? So that's another one that's safe to say, like, hey, psychology is really in our benefit here. Then there are the only 2 reasons that I ever got, basically, apart from this, because again, there are no charts. Like everything is saying alt season, right? So the only other 2 that people use as a reason for why there won't be an alt season are ETFs and inflation, right? Now, even if these were true, I don't think it will be enough to just like make this like unnecessary and useless. But okay, so sometimes people say, "Hey, there's money from the ETFs in Bitcoin, and they I don't know, but they won't buy your stupid altcoins." Ha! No alt season. Look, one thing. Only around it's around 7% of Bitcoin supply is in ETFs, right? The rest is still in hand of retails or whales or whatever you want to call it, right? So it's not that the ETFs all of a sudden have the full Bitcoin supply and control the complete crypto market. That's too much conspiracy. You can look up the numbers. That's simply not true, right? Second, you should not forget that we also have an altcoin ETF. So if ETFs matter that much, like you are scared for when it comes to Bitcoin, then you should not ignore the fact that we have an Ethereum ETF, right? And the Ethereum ETF, Trump buying Ethereum, by the way, whatever. And wait, the price doesn't go up. They don't buy it on Binance. They do it OTC. You don't know this right away, right? That's also the thing. Ethereum has a lagging pump in that case. But they are also buying Ethereum. Now, you should understand that that's bullish for Ethereum in that case, right? Coins are paired with Ethereum. If Ethereum pumps, these altcoins on the Ethereum ecosystem also pump. Retail comes in, sees altcoins pump, be like, oh, cool, let me buy all the altcoins. Domino effect, alt season. It's that simple. And on the other hand, there's another counter argument that I would like to make. Look, the Ethereum ETF came and it didn't pump that much, right? Well, Ethereum is way lower than in market cap than Bitcoin. Who says that here we got the ETF, right? So if the ETFs could not pump Ethereum, then realize how much of this pump is actually because of ETFs, right? And how much is probably just because of seasonality. It's one thing that so the ETFs are not a single, like, if anything, they're only helpful, right? It's not that we fucking have a Bitcoin and an Ethereum ETF and people somehow see it as a problem. Come on, guys, please. And the last thing, that's inflation. Now, we talked about this earlier, and for the people that may have missed this might be the biggest counter argument for people that say that there won't be an alt season. And I think we can wash this completely off the table, actually. Because people say there won't be an alt season because there are too many coins right now to divide it on, right? So the liquidity, we have to divide it on all the coins that we have right now, because there are now, at this moment, 36 million altcoins, right? And in the last alt season, we only had 3 million altcoins. So that's 12 times as much. Let me tell you this. 3 million, true. The alt season before that, though, we had 13,000, right? That's an increase of 240x. We still had an alt season right here, right? Now we have an increase of 12x. And we are not going to have an alt season right here. Also, look, where are all these tokens coming from? 27.5 million out of the 36 million are on Solana. Now, it's safe to say that I don't know more than 20 good established projects on Solana, actually, from the top of my head, let alone 27 million. You know what these 27 million are? These are coins that you will never get to know, because most of this trash is pump fun kind of stuff that's already dead and rugged in the first half an hour of being created, but it adds up here, right? But that's not where the liquidity is going to flow, because these altcoins are already dead, right? This is the trenches. This is the piece of crypto. Again, you will never get to know these altcoins because they are pretty much non-existent, but they add up to the total, cryptocurrency supply. And therefore, people think like, wow, so many altcoins. Yeah, but let's be real. People that take their money out of Bitcoin at a certain point are not gonna freaking look at that altcoins on Pump Fund to put all their money there, right? So we can see at least 27 million of this as non-existent. So then, in fact, we have more like 10 million altcoins. And still, like, there are how many dead BSC coins from the last cycle that people created on Pink Cell and all that crap, right? So it's not nearly as much as 10 million, but even if it was, then it's just 3 times as much as last cycle. That's not an inflation, right? So is there more crap on the market that's already being rugged? Yes. Are there actually more altcoins? It's not really a problem, right? It's not a problem. So also when it comes to inflation, this is interesting because this is the biggest argument that I can find for the bears, but it's also complete bullshit. So if I really look again, and I know that this video actually is biased, right? Because well, it's not, I said it's an unbiased video. I just check these things and they all scream alt season, and that makes me bias an alt season, of course, right? And even if one of these were red, right? If I had to make them red, they were screaming no alt season. Then still, what is it? 8 against 1, right? Like, but every indicator is showing alt season. Now, there's one little thing that I'd like to add on this, and that's retail, right? Who's the biggest driver of alt season? It's retail. It's the new people, the unexperienced, I don't want to say stupid because that sounds like, but the unexperienced people in crypto, right? Alt season happens when retail is in full mode here, right? Retail was here in May 2021. was a real retail peak, right? And the second peak was in November 2021. Again, altcoins on their Bitcoin pair. May 2021, when retail was fully there. Look, Altseason, fully blow off top right here. And that second top came in that second peak of retail. Okay, cycle before that, retail was fully here in December and still in January 2018. When was the second top for Altseason? Well, wouldn't you know, January 2018. Retail and Altseason go completely hand in hand. Now, if I'm looking at this chart, this is showing the amount of YouTube viewers, subscribers, people following, people on Twitter, etc. This doesn't look like it's fully here yet. Right? Matter of fact, it is not even close. So you might feel like, oh, well, I heard my bus driver talk about altcoins. Okay, that's nice for your freaking bus driver, but he's not enough to pump these charts, right? Retail isn't here yet. If you've been in Altseason, you'll notice when retail is here. The euphoria and the mass, like, it's crazy. You will get washed away with it. It's not happening now. It's not happening now. People are aware, but, right? And that this chart completely reflects it. So, no. Retail is in the air as well. So we can also say retail and that's completely green. So there are now so many things that show that Altseason will be here, right? The question, I think that people are asking the wrong questions, right? It's not if, it's when, right? Again, the problem was you probably stepped in at the wrong time in the wrong altcoins. You got wrecked. You try to blame anybody but yourself. So who's there? The market. Or me as a content creator, right? I get it a lot lately as well. While I did pretty well on this market publicly on this channel, if I can say for myself. So look at these reasons. If you are a bear and you think that Altseason is not going to happen, let me know why. I really want to know why, right? But one, if you have a reason, I doubt that that's gonna make all of these things undone. It's not that charts and sentiment, seasonality, macro, psychology, ETFs, inflation, and retail don't matter. They make the whole cycle work. So I hope this was helpful. I know this is a long video, but I really think that if you invest 43 minutes of your time, it will be worth it to navigate this market the right way, because that could benefit you for years to come. Okay, so guys, thanks so much for watching. If you feel like, hey, I like this, there's a link for the Alpha Factory down below. Okay, we do a lot of exclusive content, my portfolio, etc. One-on-one calls with me if you want, show your portfolio, improve it. Not financial advice. There's a link down below. There's also a like button down below. You can do something with it. Find out for yourself. Thanks for watching. Take care.